Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon to everyone. Okay, as I promised, today we are going to discuss and focus on the literature in action. And as I mentioned earlier, we are going to focus on the poem. Okay, and the title of the poem is Sad I Ams. Alright. First things first, let's talk about the poet. Okay, his name is Trevor Millum. Okay, he is a published author and also an editor. He has also published short stories for children and young adults, and also has written extensively about English and also ICT. Next, he is an experienced workshop leader and is well known for his work on creativity and developing the use of ICT in English. There you are. As you can see, this is Mr. Trevor Millum, and he is still alive until today. I think he is one of the professor in a university in the United Kingdom. Next, I'm going to read for you the synopsis of the poem. I hope that you have a read on the poem titled Sad I Ams. Okay. The poem is about everyday objects which are discarded and ignored by people because they are no longer useful. For example, in the poem you can notice that there is a ring of cola can, okay, the stapler that has no staples, and many more. Next, the persona is writing about some of the ordinary everyday things. He has given a voice to the simple things in life which we do not bother or do not take seriously. Some kinds of personifications. To give things, something like maybe handphone, okay, and the handphone could talk. Okay, next. He has not written about grand and also beautiful things. So he talked about the ordinary everyday things that we use, okay, in our house, in school, and many else. Next, he has turned everyday, ordinary, and unwanted things into something special and created a poem to bring this to our attention. Next, I am going to read for you the paraphrase of the poem. Paraphrase adalah satu petikan yang memudahkan cara kan ataupun memberi makna yang lebih mudah difahami kepada pelajar untuk sesebuah puisi. Okay. Every part or every lines in Bahasa Melayu we call it as a rangkap. Okay, in English we call it as a stanza. Okay, so there are 4 stanza in the poem. Okay, stanza 1, the persona is the ring from an empty drink can, leftovers from an unclean porridge pan, and the loose arm from an old toy. So there are 3 things. Okay, spoke or being emphasized in the first stanza. Second stanza, the persona is an envelope that cannot be used, the roll of sellotape which cannot be peeled off, an empty stapler without staples, and a clip that has no spring, liquid paper that is dry, and a letter that has not been sent. Okay, stanza 3. The persona is like a battery that cannot charge, a starter motor that does not work, a bulb tire means the tire that has torn out, okay, and then a sparking plug with no life means no electric spark, okay, throughout the sparking plug, a dirty carburetor with dirt, and not too shiny chromium trim. Okay. Stanza 4, the persona is an overgrown garden with weeds and many bushes. Okay, a book from the library that no one picks and read. A hungry stray mean haiwan yang berkeliaran. Okay, stray cat, okay, kucing jalanan dan sebagainya. And an unheeded piece of good advice that nobody would like to listen. Okay. Elements of the poem. The poem itself has elements. Okay, what kind of elements? The first one is settings. Okay, so we'll talk about settings just now. There are 2 types of setting, main setting. The first one is the place setting, ataupun latar tepat. And the second one is the time setting, latar masa. Okay, for this poem, let's check it out. The set is in a common household, I mean in your house, and then the persona feels like some of the things we see around our house are disposable or not maintained very well. Okay, the second elements of the poem, point of view. Okay, the point of view. Okay, who create the poem and who recite the poem. Okay, as for this poem, the poem is in the first person point of view. Means that Trevor Millum, the one who created it based on his ideas and thoughts. Okay, nobody, not from anybody, not from the second masterpiece. Okay, so this is the meaning of the point of view. The persona talks about himself as feeling sad when he compares himself to these things found in the most household. Okay. Themes. Themes are something that related with the poem or any poetry that trying to convey a message to you. Okay, so what are the themes for the poem? The first one, things that have no value are disposable, easily disposable, just like that. Second, losing direction within the family and with friends. Okay, when your family members did not respect you, appreciate you in their life, so mean that is the losing direction. Next, feeling unloved and losing confidence. Number 4, maintaining or looking after things we have. Next, neglecting one's possessions, negativism about life and how one is treated. Okay, and the last one, the last theme for the poem is seeking attention. Okay, you are trying to seeking attention from people who ignored you. Okay, last but not least, okay, what we can learn throughout the poem. Okay, that is what we call as a moral values or the lesson, pengajaran yang kita dapat daripada puisi ini. The first one, we should be positive about our status in life. Wherever we are, we should stand, okay, in our feet. Next, we should learn to recognize and value our abilities and possession. Okay. The third one, we should keep faith with our family and know that everyone in a family deserves to be loved equally. 4, we should have confidence in ourselves. 5, material things are important, but spiritual bonding is even more important. Next, the last one, we should open up and talk about our feeling, especially the feelings of depression, because depression could bring death. Okay, do not keep your feelings, do not keep your emotion. You have somebody to talk with. Okay, do share, don't keep. Okay, because it's very dangerous if you turn your feelings or emotion to be a depression. Okay, that's all for the poems. Okay, I hope that you enjoy listening to my lessons today about sets I am. Okay, then we continue with the rest of the lesson. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.